Don Bradman.
In every cricket museum in the world, especially here at Lord's, there's a special place of honour for Sir Donald Bradman, captain of Australia, extraordinary cricketer, prolific run scorer, who in 80 test match innings averaged 99.94. But Sir Don's life in cricket extended well beyond his playing days, and that, I think, is because he is a student of the game still, as well as a professor. His book, The Art of Cricket, is a classic tutor, and, by the way, has just been republished. Now, as an administrator with the Australian Cricket Board and the South Australian Cricket Association, he's worked tirelessly, always available to the players. But really, he's devoted himself to his wife, his family, perhaps his golf. He's a single handicap golfer, and he's always shunned the media, a very private man. And it's that privacy which has surrounded him with a considerable mystique. Walter Robbins, once a familiar figure here at Lord's as Middlesex captain, knew Don Bradman well and said of him, "No one I can think of has equaled him as a player, as a thinker, or as a citizen. He is an astonishing man." Well, recently, Sir Donald decided that it was time to put on record some of the thoughts on his long life in cricket. At last, after all this time, he decided to confront the cameras.
Your Excellencies, my lords and gentlemen, a praise silence for Mr. G. Bradman.
In the 1930s and 40s, Don Bradman was a national hero. The boy from the bush who became famous around the world through his genius for cricket. His average in Test was 99.94. The measure of his class is that of the world's great batsmen, no one other than Bradman has averaged more than 61 in Test cricket. Aged 81 when this interview was filmed, he agreed to the interview because it is to accompany a collection of cricket film which is being made for the Bradman Museum in Bowral, where he grew up. Sir Donald, what are your first memories of cricket?
Well, my first memories, I suppose, are when I was going to the Bowral High School and playing with the other little kids in the playground with the bell post as a wicket and things like that. We had really no organised cricket in those days, but we just played around amongst ourselves.
In the early 1930s, Bradman reenacted for the camera his boyhood practice routines, hitting a golf ball with a cricket stump against the side of a corrugated iron tank, and catching practice with the aid of a paling fence.
In retrospect, it was significant, but of course at the time when I was doing it, it had no meaning at all for me other than the fact that I was just enjoying myself. It never entered my head that I was probably training my eyesight and coordinating my movements. That didn't register at all in those days. Now, of course, I can realise what the significance of it was.
Don Bradman was 16 when he took the game up in earnest. And it wasn't long before his performances in the local competition caught the attention of the New South Wales Cricket Association.
Don came down from Bowral in 1926 to the Sydney Cricket Ground in the practice nets. When he came down from Bowral, he impressed everybody by his superb confidence, and the selectors were equally impressed because they picked him within 12 months to go down to Adelaide and Melbourne. He scored a century in his first appearance at Adelaide. It was a remarkable performance, and what do you think, in 12 months' time he had the distinction and the honour of playing as a youngster, 18, a mere youth, in the first Test match for Australia at Brisbane in November 1928.
That's obviously a shot of the exhibition ground where the Test match was played in 28-9. That's Ponsford and Woodfield going out to bat for Australia. Oh, a splendid shot of Morris Tate. Notice how after he delivers the ball, he hitches his tie up around his waist.
He was LBW to Morris Tate for 18 in his first Test innings. Australia collapsed in the second innings. Their total